Well, I think it's interesting because I never planned to do what I'm doing. I went to medical school very interested in, obviously, in patients. I actually was interested in medical anthropology as an undergraduate and studied that and went to medical school wanting to do anthropology and either geriatrics or internal medicine, general internal medicine. And I never planned to be a surgeon, nor did I plan to be a writer. I've always been attracted to writing. I remember one of my earliest memories is as a 6-year-old learning how to write. And I desperately wanted to learn how to write words because I had these stories sort of floating around in my head and I wanted to put them on paper. So I went through medical school, and I think one of the best pieces of advice I got was to go to medical school and to go through your clinical training with a completely open mind, because you never know what you'll be interested in. So I went, and the first rotation I did was internal medicine, which was great, and I really enjoyed it, had a wonderful team. But then I did surgery, and I never expected to like it, not because I didn't like it, but it just wasn't on my radar screen, and my personal radar screen, and I ended up loving it. I had a wonderful team, I had a wonderful experience, and I felt very much at home with a lot of the surgeons, or very comfortable with them. The first thing I did as soon as I was done with my training, the first thing I felt sort of drawn to doing again, and this was after actually 9 years of training total. The first thing I was drawn to doing was writing, which is not anything that I expected. I found myself writing these short stories. I would be in my lab and a story would pop into my head, and I would feel compelled to start writing the story down. I would go on a procurement run to go procure organs for a transplant. And I remember one time sitting in the helicopter and the story came into my head, and as soon as we landed, I found some paper and sort of scribbled notes down. And so this went on for a little bit, just a little bit, and so I decided to take a couple of courses in writing where I was an attending surgeon at the time, which was at UCLA. And it was during the middle of one of those courses that the teacher said to me, "Pauline, we need to talk." And I thought, oh no, I'm going to get an F because I've missed so many classes because of transplants or because of emergency operations. And what she said to me that afternoon was, it was a beautiful day outside of us, which is basically every day in Southern California. And she said to me, "You have to write these stories." And so when she said that, it was sort of as if I had gotten permission to follow through on these impulses of mine to write. But it was also as if I had gotten permission to write what I really wanted to write, which were not short stories, which were not fictional stories, but were the stories of my patients and sort of over what had happened over the last few years. And so then it was at that point that I began writing in a very organized way.